further. Gotcha!
And here we are with Hot Toys Moon Knight. As you can see, the front of the box has Moon Knight's chest piece with the wrappings that go around the box like they go around his suit. Very nice touch by Hot Toys. I really like how they focus on the small things sometimes when they do this box art. I like this way more than the photos of the figures on the box art. If you're interested in this figure at the end, you can get it at toyswonderland.com. They're a great site and they have payment plans. Here's our standard pose of the figure on its base with the moon in the background. I love the look of this figure. I think it looks just like the show. There's a lot of pieces that are fabric that kind of give that feeling of like the mummified costume. And I really like the cape. The cape is the best cape that I have ever gotten on any Hot Toy, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's definitely a figure worth checking out, and we'll get into a little bit more after this.
What's in the box?
With the figure, you get 2 large throwing crescent blades. You get 2 medium-sized crescent blades.
Every day I wake up.
And then you get 3 small crescent blades.
Every day I wake up, then I start to break.
All of which he could hold in his hands in different ways, and there's variations to the poses that you can do with it. Then you get sort of a stressed out hands for left and right. Left and right you have another kind of like stressed out hand, but you could put the crescent blades in between the fingers, which is kind of a cool look, similar to like what Batman does. Then you have a crescent blade holding hand, and then another crescent blade holding hand. This one you could put like the small ones in between each of the fingers. It's pretty cool. Next you get the large base, which is reminiscent of the Man of Steel bases that we got back in the day. And it has great artwork on it, and then it comes with this really nice looking gold crescent moon. It has all the hieroglyphics on it, and under good light it really gives a great shine and creates amazing shadows. There's something I'll get into more about it later though. For articulation, you can move the arms to the side pretty well, but the pauldrons get in the way. The rotation at the elbow is pretty solid, and I didn't really have any issues with that. It looks great with the crescent blades. And the head turns fairly well, but you want to be careful, I think, of that little piece under his chin. I feel like that could snap if you moved it too far. So be very careful of that if you get this figure. The knee moves up pretty far. I wouldn't push it too much. There's very little mobility, if none, at the ankles. It's pretty much stuck in place. And you can move the knee back pretty decent amount. So you can get some good poses with this figure. I would just be careful of moving the knee forward too much. And his legs don't spread very far, so be careful about that because this suit is pretty tight on the legs. The head sculpt is great. The head pops right off, and it has that light up mechanism that the White Vision had, which I love. I also love how easy it is to take the head sculpts off. And this light is extremely bright, so point it away from your eyes when you turn it on because you might blind yourself like I did. And it's no joke, it's actually really bright. And look how fantastic that looks. It looks just like the show. I really have no complaints when it comes to the head sculpts. Now when I tell you this is the best cape that's ever been on a Hot Toy, I mean it 100%. It has this beautiful weathered, torn look on the bottom, and it's a layered cape. It's like 2 levels of fabric. And then all the way on the outside parts, you have these really solid wires so that you can position the cape however you want. And then there's 2 more on the inside, which ends up making the best cape. This suit is perfect for this figure. There's so much dimension going on here. Like you got the chest piece, you have the mid-torso piece, then the fabric look underneath it, the gold popping out everywhere. The cape is fantastic. The head sculpt is great. I'm a little worried about that lower piece at the bottom of the head sculpt because it's kind of thin there, and if you turn your head too much, I think there's a chance you could break that. I'm not saying it would break, but it's connected by very little rubber or whatever that material is. But this suit has cloth on it, it has plastic, it has everything. And it gives that vibe, that feel that you're really holding the Moon Knight suit in your hand. So one of the things I was most excited about was this crescent moon on the stand, and I was so utterly disappointed when I turned it around and I felt how light it was, and I saw that it was made out of foam.
Why?
We spend $200, $300, $400 for some of these figures, and you gave us a foam stand? Come on. Base is nice, but it's too big. So I'm not saying I hate the accessories for this Hot Toys figure, but I feel like there needs to be more variety. There's too many crescent moon blades. Give us like one less of each and provide a little bit more variety, like the So-So Toys figure. Look at everything that you're getting here. There's just more going on. You get the scarab, you get the moon blades, you get the nightsticks. And then you also get a little statue, you get a lot of hands, and you get a smaller base. So for me, this figure is a must-buy, but that's because I'm a huge Moon Knight fan. When I was a kid, this guy, this character, always flew under the radar for a lot of people. It wasn't until, I feel like recent years that Moon Knight became more popular. But my childhood is Moon Knight, Silver Surfer, Ghost Rider. These are the characters that I always liked. I always found them more intriguing. So if this falls in that area for you, I would say this is a must-buy if you collect Hot Toys. But consider the issues that I had with the figure. The base, the accessories, I think these are things that could be a problem. Or you could get this and the So-So Toys figure, and then you have the best of both worlds. What's my final score? 8.8 Crescent Moon Frisbees out of 10.